Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. In today's episode, we want to have a look at what is happening in Turkey. Now, obviously, Turkey is a member of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It is arguably the second most powerful, followed behind the United States, member of NATO. Turkey has a very large population and the largest military outside of the United States present in the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It has a thriving defense sector. It is known in terms of its defense capabilities in terms of the Bayraktar drone, the TB2 drone, as other drone systems, and the MAMEL precision-guided weapon system that was used greatly both in the ongoing conflict, in the ongoing war between NATO and the Russian Federation and its Ukrainian proxy forces. But we also saw Turkish technology being used quite a bit in the Azeri victory over Armenian forces in Nagorno-Karabakh. Now, I think we really have to go back to the year 2016. 2016 is a key date for Erdogan. Elements inside of the Turkish military foresaw what is happening right now. They knew that Erdogan is essentially an Islamist that is condoned by Western Europe. He presents well. Erdogan presents well, just like the guy that runs Syria right now. He got rid of his beard and his do-rag, and that makes him okay. Erdogan doesn't have a beard and he doesn't have a do-rag, so durka, that's okay. That's all right. But he is. He's an Islamist. He has millions, quite literally millions of Syrian Islamists now live in Turkey, and Erdogan uses the threat of mass immigration, millions of Syrians and other refugees that could flood into Western Europe. And he uses that against Western European nation states because they don't want them. They have enough of them. They're already dealing with an overload of Middle East and North African Islamists in those states. France, Germany, the United Kingdom, what have you. Eastern Europe. Now, again, back to the 2016 coup. The military knew what Erdogan was about. They knew that once he controlled power, once he had power, and unfortunately the 2016 coup attempt solidified Erdogan's grip on power. And I have to wonder that just based on what happened in terms of that coup d'etat that took place, and that was an actual coup. We see coup being thrown around in terms of being used as a catchphrase, like after the first administration of Donald Trump, it was a coup on the Capitol. That's not a coup. A coup is what happened in Turkey in 2016. That was a coup. That is where you have elements of the military actively using military force in an attempt to take power or remove someone from power. And I do believe that in 2016, it wasn't so much the military was looking to take power, or elements within the military were looking to take power. They were looking to remove someone from power, someone they knew that eventually would pose a serious threat to Turkey. And now we're seeing that now. We're seeing Erdogan clearly does not want to leave office. Clearly. He has arrested the mayor of Istanbul. Traditionally speaking, if you are the mayor of Istanbul and you have a power base in and around Istanbul, there's a very high likelihood that you could become the top dog in Turkey. So Erdogan has had him arrested on various charges, to include having a quote-unquote fake college degree in his attempt to run for president. See, in Turkey, you have to have a degree, a college degree, in order to run for president. So if he strips him of his college degree, which he has done, Erdogan has done, he can't run for president. And there's a very high likelihood the mayor of Istanbul would probably defeat Erdogan in a quote-unquote free and fair election. Highly likely. He probably has just over 50% support. But Erdogan does not want to leave. Erdogan is not going anywhere. And again, going back to that 2016 coup d'etat, unfortunately for Turkey, a lot of patriotic generals that could have stood up to Erdogan were arrested and purged from the military. Thousands upon thousands of military leaders and soldiers were arrested after the coup attempt. A very interesting story that if you want to do your own research and kind of learn about it in terms of one of the crucial moments of the Turkish coup was centered around a brigade commander. This brigade commander's name was Sima Tirzai. And he controlled a Turkish special operations brigade. And he was going to be a key piece in the Turkish coup. And unfortunately for the coup, he was assassinated by fellow military members within the Special Operations Command itself. So if you look and you kind of deep dive into the coup and you look at what the objective of Sima Tirzai was in terms of the use of the 1st Special Operations Brigade and its move on Ankara, they weren't able to use that brigade because he was killed very early on the night of the coup attempt. Some believe that if General Tirzai was not killed or assassinated, that the coup could have gone in a completely different way. And it was a very robust and aggressive coup. They attempted to kill Erdogan early on. I believe he was vacationing in an area in southern Turkey on the coast. They tried to bomb that locale. They hit a location in Ankara using fixed-wing aircraft. It was a very large attempted coup operation by multiple Turkish generals and multiple Turkish brigades. But again, unfortunately, the special operations component of this force was not able to utilize because of the assassination of General Tirzai. Now, let's fast forward to where we're at now. So thousands of people are being arrested in Turkey. And it is clear that anyone who poses a political threat to Erdogan is going to either get arrested or simply won't be allowed to run for El Presidente. So now the question is why isn't the EU, why isn't the European Union, why isn't the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, why are they not raising hell? Why is not these transparent democracies raising unholy hell about what Erdogan is doing? Why not? I mean, he's a dictator. He's an authoritarian ruler who just arrested the leading opposition candidate, right? I mean, you would think that you would hear leaders in France and Germany, United Kingdom, Spain, everywhere, just raising unholy hell. Look, you have an Islamist who does not want to leave office, who is arresting his political opponents, who is arresting and threatening to use the force of the state against protesters. This cannot stand. There must be sanctions against this authoritarian leader. Why isn't that happening? What do you call that? Is that hypocrisy? They do it in other places, right? Well, they're not doing it. They're not coming forward. These leaders in Western Europe, they're not coming forward, and they're not, and especially the media in the United States and Western Europe, are not raising unholy hell about what is happening in Turkey because Turkey supports the Ukraine. And the Ukraine, in terms of the ongoing conflict, the ongoing war, and its eventual attempt by forces within Western Europe and NATO to tear apart the Russian Federation, because Erdogan supports the Ukraine, supports Volodymyr Zelensky, both economically and militarily, what Erdogan is doing is okay. So you see the hypocrisy? NATO and the EU is an incredibly flawed organization. And you can see that clearly in its response to what is happening in Turkey. I would imagine possibly that if Erdogan was not giving this kind of support he is giving to the Ukrainians, we would probably see a much, much different response from Western Europe and Western European media. Absolutely. I think if we just look at what occurred between Azerbaijan and Armenia, how that was really, in terms of the general public and the uninformed urbanites watching what was going on, or really not really having the ability to watch what was going on. And again, what is happening in Syria, the Islamists control Syria now. Erdogan is probably, well, absolutely the father of the destruction of Syria. His hand, his fingerprints are all over what you are seeing now inside of Syria. And Syria is, in terms of what you are hearing on the ground or really not able to hear, that fractured state is going to enter the abyss unlike nothing has ever seen. And we could possibly see something like that happen in Turkey. Again, Turkey right now is fractured, incredibly fractured. And you can see it. And you can see it in the cities. You can see it in many cities across Turkey in terms of the protest against Erdogan. But Erdogan does have significant support. It's not like he has 10% of societal support. He has the support of the Islamist side of Turkey, which is significant. It's an Islamic state. Or it's going to be an Islamic state. And I think early in 2016, the military was concerned about just that. They knew where Erdogan was heading. And that's why they tried to remove him from power. Now, because of that coup d'etat that took place, I would say it's back in 2016 is what I'm talking about. I would say it's highly unlikely that you will see any kind of organized opposition from the state bureaucracies, the Ministry of Defense, the gendarmes, the Turkish militarized police. You won't see direct action by those agencies against Erdogan because he controls them. After the 2016 coup attempt, he was able to purge the military. He was able to insert his loyalists and especially the paramilitary forces in Turkey. That is fully under the control of Erdogan. And he can rely on the support of paramilitary Islamists coming in from Turkey if he really needs to. I'm sorry, not Turkey, coming in from Syria. So Turkey is either in full authoritarianism mode, heading towards outright Islamist dictatorship, and the West right now is going to be silent about it. Not going to do much because they support that government in power in Ankara supports the Ukraine. And the Ukraine right now is the number one goal of Western Europe. It is the key to destabilizing the Russian Federation. And eventually, at least we believe here at MFAN, is the breakup or the attempted breakup of the Russian Federation. We think that's the ultimate goal. But we'll see. But a lot going on in Turkey, a lot you won't hear about, a lot you won't see because the West just simply isn't reporting it because right now, for whatever reason, they support the Islamist without the beer and the do-rag. But we'll see. As always, thanks for joining us. More to come very, very soon. Good day.